Transport. Obviously, there are a huge number of issues regarding transport around Chippenham. The first one that we really delved into was congestion and relief of congestion. We thought it was particularly bad in the Chippenham area, or perceived to be bad in the Chippenham area, during peak hours. And obviously Chippenham is a main gateway into Wiltshire, and there are lots of traffic movements locally at peak times with children being taken to school, and I believe that came up with one of the other groups as well. And we might look at ways where we could reduce the number of those short journeys, particularly school journeys around school times, and encourage more sustainable ways of getting children to school. We also could look at using the development growth proposed in Chippenham to improve the road network in some way. We wanted to encourage sustainable transport much more, perhaps giving priority in the town centre to modes such as walking and cycling, and improve the cycle routes, improve the bus routes. And then we came on, obviously, to modes of transport. We felt there was a need for much better integration between the transport modes in Chippenham. It seemed very bizarre that we have a very busy railway station at one end of the town and a bus station at the other end of town, and that some of the bus routes, although they have stopping on one way out of town, in the town centre in Bath Road, there's no facility to get a bus going the other way in Bath Road. So there seems a lot of anomalies within the town. We also, in the second round of discussion, talked about the bus services themselves, which seem to have a lot of frustrating things about them. This is probably due to deregulation, but we don't have information about the bus routes and the bus service. We don't seem to have properly identified bus stops around Chippenham, and the buses don't seem to follow any kind of rule about running to time. I think those were the main points. We really felt that congestion was the biggest problem in Chippenham at peak times.
Starting with the problems, there are really three main problems we identified: town centre antisocial behaviour, domestic violence, and more recently scams like vulnerable old people being conned, or distraction burglary, that sort of thing. So what are the causes of the issues? They really come down to the usual suspects of drugs, alcohol, and more recently deprivation. So how does that work? Well, drugs, there's a problem with dealers coming in on the train from London and Bristol. A lot of the addicts are actually well known, but they go out at 9 o'clock in the morning and they come back at night and get up to what they get up to. There's been a severe cutback of drugs workers, which is a real problem, and it's not a police priority because police priorities now are victim-led, and you don't see the victims of drugs as obviously as other things. Alcohol has actually been a 30% reduction in violent crime locally. A lot of that is thought to be actually due to the closure of Karma, the nightclub, and a lot of people are drinking at home now because they haven't got so much money to spend, and that's probably resulting in more domestic violence. So solutions, that's always the hard bit. We thought that although the Community Safety Partnership at Wiltshire Council does a really good job, there needs to be a local level underneath that, which is sort of missing. There was something called Operation Liberal, which worked very, very well at a local level for destruction burglary. And something similar to that, a local multi-agency approach would be good. There's an outfit called New Highways in Wiltshire Council, and it was felt that they could come in and lead that and set the agenda. And also volunteers. There are a lot of families of addicts who are actually very keen to help the drugs problem because their families have suffered, and there's a big resource to be tapped there. Of course, we have the new Spice Time credit locally. That might have a part to play in volunteers as well. Okay, thank you very much.